So I wanted to have a talk with you guys real quick about everything that's going on. I am not someone that wants to add to negativity. I want to bring more positive and more Jesus into every situation, more love into everything that we do. Back in 2008, I was going through a divorce, very fresh, as in like a couple days into what was going to be a divorce. And it was during Hurricane Ike. And during that time, we had no water or electricity for 2 weeks. And I was a single parent with a 3.5-year-old with autism. And we would drive around for hours looking for some place that was open, some place that would have food, some place that would have water. I ended up hooking up with a good friend at the time who was also a single mom. And we were able to drive to a location that was a house in the middle of a bunch of other houses that didn't have electricity, but for some reason, this house had electricity and cable and air conditioning and water. And so we hunkered down there for a few days, trying to, protect our little chicklings. And that's what we did. Guys, that was hard. That was really hard, and it was emotional, and it was rough. And you know what? It is not the same as this. I've been through a lot of storms, both physical and metaphorical. I've been through a lot of hurricanes. That's when things are really bad. This is not that bad. And I feel like everyone is taking it to the extreme, like it's the apocalypse. Let me tell you, this does not end this way, okay? The world does not end like this. Read the back of the book. But all that to say that in this time, I really feel like we need to unite together, help one another out, be prepared to help a neighbor who can't go to the store, who can't afford to buy toilet paper, who can't afford to go to 5 different stores or even leave their house at all. Bring them supplies, bring them things, and don't expect money for it. If you have extra, be sure to share that extra, because God has blessed you with extra, and you need to make sure that you are using that to bring Him glory, to show love to your fellow neighbor. Who's your neighbor? Okay? I've got maybe like 4 or 5 neighbors on my street, because we live out in the country. Woohoo! And I don't consider just those people my neighbors. I consider everyone in my area neighbors. So the people I'm driving past right now are my neighbors. And there's this neat little app called Nextdoor, and I can get on there and be like, hey neighbor, what do you need? Just this morning, one of my neighbors was like, does anybody know where I can get bread? And I remembered that we had extra hamburger buns left over from supper club on Friday. And there were 7 of them, and nobody's gonna eat them. And I was like, do you want those? And so I told my husband, hey, I'm going to deliver bread later. On his way home from work, he stopped and found 2 more loaves of bread. I delivered it to this person's mailbox while they were at work. I think their husband came home, and he just smiled. He was like, food, it's just so sweet. And so we need to do more of that. We need to make sure that we're taking care of one another. So I have been praying for, oh my gosh, probably 4 years for something that would unite us. Kind of like 9/11 united us as a country, but not so horrible. Like, can we just do something a little less drastic that would unite us? And a few weeks ago, even last week, I was telling everybody, this is not it. This is not uniting us. This is isolating us. This is just making everybody more greedy and just showing exactly how people are in their hearts, to be greedy and selfish, to buy 1,500 rolls of toilet paper. Have fun wiping your ass for the next 5 years, jerk off. Why? That just shows greed and selfishness, and what is the outpouring of your actions comes from your heart, which tells me your heart is not in good shape, buddy. So I was thinking about this yesterday, and negative thoughts come in, and my husband's a paramedic, so he's in the middle of all of this, and he's just like starting to freak out. And I'm like, listen, we need to stop and reassess. I am not panic buying anything. I will buy an extra half gallon of milk, and that is it, and maybe an extra loaf of bread. But we are not panic buying. We are not adding to this madness. God is good. God is faithful. God is our provider. Period. Period. No comma. Maybe even exclamation point. God is our provider. We do not need to worry about any of this. Number one, my husband is employed. And thank God for that. And thank God for his job change a few years ago. It's like God has been preparing us for all of this stuff. And so we have a guaranteed paycheck and we are fine and we are doing well. And so we need to start outpouring that to other people. So this morning he's stuck in traffic on his way home from shift and he texts me a Bible verse, which is not like my husband at all. He's very quiet about his faith. And he was like, I think you're right. I think we need to make sure that we're taking care of each other. The only thing that's going to get us through this, the only thing that's going to cure this panic and cure this pandemonium, whatever you want to call it, this selfishness, is letting people know that there are still people out there that love each other and want to take care of each other, and that's what we need to do, and that is what is going to help us and carry us through this. And that was exactly what God had been speaking to me about over the last 24 hours. I was like, yes, this is exactly what we need to do. So find all and every opportunity you can to take care of somebody else if you have extra. If you don't have anything, reach out. Reach out to me, reach out to somebody else you know, someone else in the community, post it on Facebook. My kid has no diapers. Awesome. Let somebody know, because trust me, there are people out there that want to help you. We are some of them, and we are not the only ones. We're not saints, okay? But there are people out there that want to help you, and this is what's going to cure this panic and anxiety. This is what is going to cube? What am I trying to say? Curb your anxieties. So do that. Go out there, love your neighbor, bring them some milk, bring them some eggs if you got them, and share alike. Do not buy any more toilet paper. That is all.